Greetings YouTube, and welcome to my next project, which is not a weapon. This here, right here, is a shelving unit designed to hold these plastic bins. So the bins come in like this, and they sit like that. And they'll hold 7 of these per shelf. And I've got that many. I've got 21 of these things. For this unit, and as you can see, these have buckled. Now I purchased this as part of a lot. I got some guy's entire collection of fasteners, all of them, for 50 bucks, and this came with it. Now you can see this is failed. This is from the storehouse. It's called a parts rack. It's very rather generic, and I want to reinforce it. So what I want to do is I want to cut 3 pieces of this stuff, and this is just from steel channel from a bed frame. And this particular piece here is salvage, didn't cost me anything. Obviously I'll have to take out those little nubs in the middle, cut it to length, and I'll put one under each of these to reinforce it. I'll have to remove the shelves for that purpose. And on the top shelf, I'm thinking of putting some of this, which is also salvage. I think I have enough in the garage to do that with. And that way I'll have a lip on the front and the back. I'll cut the corners off so it looks nicer. I'll deburr everything so that it's not going to be a danger to me or anybody else reaching up there. And that means that I can then reach up and I can store things up here and not have to worry about them falling forward or back. Maybe not the back, because when I'm done, I'm going to set this up on that wall over there. So I'm going to see how that looks, because if I don't need to put them on the top, I won't. If I do need to put one in the back, I will. The goal is to set this up so that I will obviously be taking down the things that are currently hanging there. I should actually get rid of that tripod. I don't even use it. I'll be storing these here with enough space so that I can use that top shelf. I have some plywood, which is going to help me bridge this space, because surprise surprise, nothing in my home is even. Like, the space between those 2 studs is different between the space between those 2 studs, which is different between the space between those 2 studs, which is different. You know, you get the point. Nothing is square in my house. Nothing is measured properly. The people that did this did not do a great job. But I'm going to put that here, and then on the rest of it, my goal is to fill it up with a hanging system using bed frames that will be able to hold small bins, because I've got about 50 small bins of this. They're half size, they're red, that I need to find a home for too, and they're going to all go up there. And the beautiful thing about this is that this lip right here is the size you need for the red ones that hook on like this. Now these don't have back hooks on them, but the red ones do have back hooks, and the back hooks fit perfectly onto this type of steel. So my goal is I'm going to have a piece of steel like this. I'll have the flat here, but it doesn't really matter which one I'm doing it. And I'm going to put this onto a piece of baluster, pressure treated baluster, which are really inexpensive. They're square. If I'm smart, if I get lucky, I can get square ones, and I'll put those on that wall, put the railing on top, and then just hang the bins off of that. And this lining up with the baluster under it will give me all the support I need so the unit doesn't fold in too far. And they have much less weight, so I'm not going to have to worry about them flexing the way these do. These are kind of light duty. The red ones, because they're half his size, even though they're about the same thickness, they're much more rigid, because they're just less material. It just gives you better strength. And they're made by different companies as well. I don't think these are the same as the other ones, because the other ones are much more rigid than these are. So that's my current project. To disassemble this partly, not completely, partly to do this. Now when I'm finally done, I'm going to be hanging this off of the wall on the plywood I'm going to put on there through these existing holes. So these are going to be the holes that I use to mount it to the wall. The plywood will be screwed into the studs, and then this will be screwed into the plywood. And I'm thinking of putting a shelf on the bottom, because this one comes all the way out here, and these right here designed so that when you put it on a table, it doesn't go forward. But this means it gives me lots of space to put a board underneath it, or even if maybe I can get lucky and I can find one that fits inside that lip, drill some holes. I don't think I have to. I think there's 4 holes here already, and go up that way, and that will give me more storage underneath for random sized objects, you know what I mean? And then I'll put a lip on the back as well, so things won't fall off the back, because this section of the shelf is definitely not going to be supported by plywood. The piece of plywood I have currently comes to here, and it's an oddly shaped piece of plywood because it also is salvaged, so I'm using what I've got at hand. So that way I don't have to recut it or anything. I can just use it as it is. The disadvantage of this is that these bolts do mean that this is what's going to become the contact point between the wood and the plywood and the unit. So it's not going to be sitting flush on the metal flat, it'll be sitting against these points. But since I can use nice bolts, lag bolts that'll go right into there, I'm not too concerned with that, and I'll pre-drill everything so that I don't have to worry about splitting anything, so that'll be spiffy. So the first thing I need to do is take off these 3 shelves and then redo them. Once I get those redone, I will put these back on, and then I'll tackle this way. That way the whole thing doesn't collapse on me and be a real pain in the butt. I'll probably do these one at a time. That way I'm taking one off, putting it back on, and the whole thing remains stable. And I have to go out into the garage and find out if I do have enough of this for that top shelf. I think I do. I lucked into a bunch of this a few years ago. Some guy I was at a yard sale and I looked across the street and there was like 30 feet of this stuff just lying on the ground. Like, well, this is coming home with me. I've used some of it over the years, but I think I still have enough left for that 2 sections right there, which I think that's 36 inches or 30 inches. I haven't checked the measurement. But regardless, it's a pretty nice wide section, you know what I mean? And so that will give me the strength I need for this, and I don't have to worry about them buckling, which is going to be awesome. Because I think overall they have the strength to hold the things, it's just they didn't have the strength to support it from buckling because this is very thin sheet metal. So I'm going to compensate for the fact that it's very thin sheet metal by putting really nice, thick L bracket on the front. And again, this stuff right here was free. That's always nice. And this down there was really cheap. Again, I only picked this up at the yard sale because I was at the yard sale and the guy was selling it. I'm like, $5? Yeah, I'll take that for $5. So that came home with me. All right, so let's take a shelf off and let's figure out what size I need and then start cutting some steel. So here is the piece cut to length. This is upside down, so this is going to be the bottom of the situation at hand. I took the 2 nubs off on the inside. I didn't really think it mattered to take them off on the outside, so I didn't. And I'm going to be using 1/4-inch fender washers on the bottom, like that, because they will fit on the inside and the outside. So that works just fine. If I have to use them on either side, they work. They fit within that range also, so they're not going to be, hanging out into space, which I did not want. And the whole spacing means that I can still get my rivet gun in that space I've got to work with. So the rivet gun is actually capable of getting closer to this than I need it to. So that when I drill that hole, I'll center it and make a mark. I'll be able to use 1/4-inch rivets to go through this with the top of the rivet here, bottom of the rivet coming out there, bottom of the rivet going through this, and then pulling the whole thing together into one nice cohesive union. Well, let's hope at least that that's what happens. We're going to find that out. What did I want to say? Oh, I'm not going to drill holes in this. I'm just going to use the holes that are here. So I'm going to use this one, and this one, and this one. Close enough to I'm just going to use 3. That's close enough to even and the middle for my taste. Because when I'm done, I'm covering this with plastic bins, so no one's ever going to see this thing at any one time and judge my work. And all I care about it's being stronger. The back is fine. Oh, I did discover when I was taking this apart that these right here are in here. So they were like that, acting as supports. I did not notice that before because they were all the same shiny metal. But when I took the fasteners out, which are right here in a little, get yourself one of these, man. These magnetic bowls, awesome. They help hold the thing together, which is, fine. Just means it's going to be kind of a pain in the butt to get back together again, but it is what it is. So now I'm going to use this as my guide and then mark holes through here and then drill some holes in this. So that's going to be pretty simple. It's just a 1/4-inch hole, ding, 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 and we're done. In case anybody's interested, this is how I'm clamping things in place. I have a spacer block under here, so because I have to compensate for the lip that's there, and I have it clamped in place. I have marked it with a marker, and then I put a small prick with my punch, and then just drill the hole, and you're done. So this is plenty stable. It's light enough that this clamp right there will hold the whole thing up without me having to be involved at all. So that's kind of nice because it gives me a nice stable surface, and I don't have to worry about this thing turning on me just in case the drill bit catches the metal. Because, you know, sometimes drill bits do that. So here we have the first shelf done. I did the top one first, and I'll do the next one down second. And I used my Wiss flattening, bending crippers, shears. It's a brake. It's a very small brake, I guess. Maybe it's called a Wiss brake. I don't know. But Wiss, great brand. I used that to flatten this out so that it would not be in my way. And again, this is all now set up and beautiful. It looks so much better, and it does not buckle, even though that container is fairly heavy. It's got 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch bolts in it. This is going to be awesome when I'm done. So now I need to do 2 more of those, and then we'll take a look at the top shelf. I still haven't gone out to the garage yet because I don't have a key on me. Oddly, I don't keep a key to the garage on my keychain because I don't go to the garage very often. Essentially, just a big shed. We don't keep anything in there that is other than tools and like snowblowers and stuff. It's too small for a car. So, yep. 2 more times, and this is going to look so much better and function so much better. I think I want to knock the corners on the next one off a little bit more than I did in this one. They're not sharp, but I could make them a little bit cleaner. So all 3 of the shelves are done. Now these 2 pieces were ones that I had from a piece of salvage. They were free in the sense that they were not attached to anything. They were loose. So that's why I jumped on those real quick, because I didn't have to detach them from another piece of steel. This one I had to detach from that frame I showed you that was on the floor. And I'm really impressed with the quality of its build. So it was a really well built. Took me quite a bit to get the wheel off this thing, the little peg that had the roller on the bottom. That was a fight. But it was also a little bit smaller in this dimension. That's longer this way. So this is like 1.5 inches, I think, in this way. But this is only like 1 1/8 inches here. So it's almost exactly the same size as the lip that was there. So I mean, that's kind of cool. But so this is. These 3 shelves are now finished. Those are very much so much stronger than they were. This is just so nice and straight. I'm so happy with this. So now I'm going to concentrate on the top. Now my original plan, which would have been awesome, was to take this and flip it. Literally turn this thing upside down and put it back on with these facing up, and then I would have been done. Unfortunately, if I do that, I lose that connection. Sorry for the glare. Don't have a lot of lighting down here. I lose that connection. That connection is kind of important because that connection is for this corner here. So I don't want to lose that connection. Even if I'm bolting it to a wall, I really don't want to lose that connection. So I'm going to take this off and then look at it. Maybe my idea works, maybe my idea doesn't, because if I can flip it, that makes my life easier. As long as it's not going to cause me hassles, because that would mean that this surface would then be here. So that's going to tighten it. That's going to mean that this will have a ceiling on it, as opposed to the top being here. The top will be then here. So yeah, I got to see how that works. So I have to disassemble this thing, take this off. Now this is all done. This is all nice and stable. And then I haven't decided, this is really kind of annoying, but it's a temporary annoyance because once I get a bottom on it and I get this sorted out and I get it to a wall, these are never going to move again. So right now it's just annoying because it makes a lot of noise. But the noise is going away once I'm done. When I'm done, this is going to be super secure and very stable. I am so damn happy. This is coming out really well. So take the top off, take a look at it, and then probably go to lunch because it's getting almost time for lunchtime today. Alrighty, So next up, we're going to see if my idea about that top is a failure or it's a win. Okay, because I'm really stubborn, I wanted to check this out before I went to lunch, and it works. I turned it upside down, and it functions. Not by much. This actually touches, but it locks in place, and it sits all the way down on the shelf. So it functions. I am very, very happy about that. That means I can now use this top space for storage. I think I may, however, put a pin in here to keep this from going down, and keep it from falling. I'm not positive on that yet. We're going to see. I don't plan on putting a huge amount of weight on there. If it does become an issue, I will address it. But I will. I mean, we're still going to have a lot of stability here because I will be putting screws into the plywood all the way through there. The two fasteners there. There's two holes here. So this is not going anywhere. This is going to be fully secure and well supported when I'm done. Man, this looks so much better and it is so much more useful now than it was when I started today. I am a very happy camper. Very happy camper. Alrighty. Time for lunch. And when I come back, actually, do I have to come back? No, I'm done with this project. Sorry, I'm done with this project. For you at least. My next project is going to be over there, but that's going to be a different video. But this project of improving this particular shelving unit is a success. It's strong, it's stable, and now it's got an entire new shelf. I will put a bottom on there. That's not all that exciting. Me just putting a board on the bottom of this unit. But yeah, that right there, folks, makes me very happy.